Oh, you guys are copying Duel Links meta. No, we're Brazilian Duel Links meta.
It's like Duel Links meta with spice.
All right, here we go.
Often imitated the biggest win ever. Never duplicated.
The comments, I'm not ready.
Oh, the original. And is it going to be any different this week?
I don't think so, man.
DLE Kamel here.
K-pause. I just forgot what I was going to say.
Circus here coming at you. First tournament, you're like, all right, Ken Hawk, take it back, search a card. Man, I'm cruising. This is great.
Ken Hawk.
Join us each week as we track decks and see how they perform in tournaments around the community. This is the DLE Power Rankings. What's up, everybody? Circus here coming at you with this week's Power Rankings video. I'd like to say there's a big shakeup this week. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. We'll have to wait and see. But I got Kamel here with me because he likes shaking it up. How you doing, buddy?
I sure do. Glad to be here, Circus. Let's get into it.
You know what I heard?
What'd you hear?
I heard that half of all Kamels that are watching this video right now are not subscribed.
I also heard that half of non-Kamels are also not subscribed. So
That's a lot of people, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you're confused on what we're doing here, every week in the Power Rankings, we track decks as they're played in tournaments around the community, and then we rank them based on how they finish in those tournaments. So if a deck gets a first place finish, it gets 6 points. A second place finish is 4 points. A top 4 is 2 points, and a top 8 is a single point.
That's right, Circus. And to keep the power rankings consistent, all of the tournaments have to have the same format, that being rounds of Swiss into a top cut, and the deck format being one deck with a 7-card side where you can side in skills. Yeah. And these are the tournaments that fit the criteria this week.
Yeah, 11 of them. That's crazy.
Whoa. We had the Giraffe Bi-Weekly landed on this week, and Brazilian Duel Links and meta as well.
I love it. They're like, oh, you guys are copying Duel Links meta. No, we're Brazilian Duel Links meta.
It's like Duel Links meta with spice, you know?
Right.
And as always, if you would like guaranteed access to all of the Battle Phase events, be sure to become a channel member on YouTube or a subscriber on Twitch.
All right, let's take a look at number 5.
Number 5.
That was absolutely gross, dude.
Stick and Chair Dark Lords.
So last week, Dark Lords were at number 11 on the Power Rankings. This week, shooting up all the way up to 5th place, getting into the top 5, not bad at all. Representation, pretty decent when you have 11 tournaments. No wins this week, though.
Yeah, Dark Lords just failing to get a win this week. However, I will say I do believe the strategy has kind of shifted to them relying more on the Dark Lord engine, because we're starting to see a lot more decks now that rely on effect destruction and a very powerful effect destruction. Decks like Fire Kings and Blue Eyes are going up right now, and Dark Lords are very good against that deck, but Star Seraph engine not so much. That's very vulnerable against those decks right now. So the deck relying on Dark Lords, if you don't see that all the time, it is possible that you don't see that engine when you play. I think that takes a part into them not picking up a win this week. They are having to rely on one side of their deck, and they can't confidently open one of them.
Well, I'm hoping this deck does really well. I hope it becomes dominant and everybody gets sick of it, so Konami puts every card in Dark Lords to 2.
Well, I mean,
very happy.
Take a look at this deck list, Circus. What are they doing to this deck? I mean, they got to put Tez on the something like that. I don't see what else they can do.
Every Dark Lord needs to be at 2. That's all I'm saying. It's the only way this deck's going away. All right, let's take a look at number 4.
Number 4.
Swing, swing, swing. Takes 24.
Automats.
All right, coming in at number 4 this week is Automats, or Onomatopoeia, as Kamel likes to call them. Look at that representation, really, really high. Top 8 conversion rate, not too bad. 2 tournament victories, but let's face it, one was the Giraffe Bi-Weekly. Anybody can win that one. Anybody can play in that one, so anybody can win that.
Shout out to our boy Mood Trapper for hosting that.
We love you. You know you love you.
But I talked a lot of crap about Automats last week because they were 4th place, down from 1st, and they are still here, not an improvement. However, they did pick up 2 tournament wins, and still not much has changed about the deck, still relying on offerings for that active removal. But something different, Igunar is being played in the extra deck. You need 3 level 6 monsters for that, so that does make playing around having a lot of monsters like Head and the Gaga sister both together. It makes that very important so you can get those 3 level 6 monsters for that powerful effect that destroys all of the cards on the field. That's huge when you're playing Automats.
Well, a lot of people saying this deck is on the decline, but 2 tournament victories isn't too bad.
The deck, it gets the job done. Even though the common ways to disrupt it and, like play or not fall into the Automat trap are known now. The deck still does what it does. It's got 118 people playing it. And, it's on the tier list. It's going to win.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a look at number 3 then.
Number 3.
IZ Summon.
Thunder Dragons.
Coming in at number 3 for the second week in a row is Thunder Dragons. They did win the Battle Phase Friday. Basically the same representation as Automats. A little bit higher conversion rate. I thought this was going to be like the deck going forward, but here we are 2 weeks in a row at number 3, Kamel.
Yeah, I'm starting to see a trend this week, but I do think that Thunder Dragons being here is good because the next 2 decks, they are just the best in their class. So Thunder Dragons being in 3rd place is actually very good. Thunder Dragons used to have ending games, but now that is not the case. They play a variety of different levels of monsters, giving them access to so many cards in the toolbox. Look at this. 2 Synchro monsters and 5 Xyz monsters, including 2 rank 4s that you're making with your 2 main normal summon engine starters. So this deck has plays on plays. Thunder Dragons were hailed for being a crazy toolbox deck before, but Xyz monsters and them giving us more powerful ones are really helping them out.
They're really the Cristrons of the new meta, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll have to see how Thunder Dragons do. I was kind of surprised that they came in so low, but maybe next week they'll do a little bit better.
Number 2.
TTH, oh my god!
The Water Deck.
Kamel, we didn't have to redo the power rankings this week. It's the exact same way.
Deck.
And coming in at number 2 this week is the Water Deck. If you see here, 155 representation, top 8 conversion rate of 8%. Only 1 tournament victory. So here we are, 1 tournament victory, doing better than Automats ahead too.
And look, I just want to say, I said that the shark cards were good, and everyone was like, no, Kamel, I don't think the shark cards are going to play in the Water Deck. I don't think they're very pivotal to play. Guys, I'm starting to see people complain about Water Deck. I'm starting to see people take screenshots of Water Deck starting turns and be like, how is this fair?
Right.
See their open hands and be like, is this fair? Like, come on, guys. Water Deck is just the best Xyz deck around right now, hands down. You can make 1 card Xyz monsters with 2 monsters, and you get chain special summons from the hand with even more monsters in this deck. The consistency issue is no longer a thing. You can run such a huge monster core and still keep yourself safe because Deep Sea Diva is giving you those active pops on the field, and Buzzsaw Shark is getting you into 1 card Xyz monsters. And TTH and Book of Moon are great if you have them. They basically make this deck as the best as they can be.
Well, if you look at this deck list too, do you see what's missing? Normals and rares.
Normals and rares.
Normals and rares. Not a single one in there.
And guys, I want to hail Ruginary. Like, the ratios on this deck are great. This is a great Water deck. He is playing Abyss Spike. This is the only win for Water this week, though.
Yep.
Very
and
very strange. So yeah, this is the only win, and it was a little off meta build. So I want to see how this translates into future weeks. This being the only build that won a tournament this week. I'll have to see how the inclusion of Buzzsaw Shark and Abyss Spike helps him out week to week.
All right, so we'll be going into the number 1 deck here. Can you guess what it is?
Number 1.
It all comes down to this.
Blue Eyes.
And no surprise, coming in at number 1 this week is Blue Eyes with 4 tournament victories, down 1 victory from last week.
Yeah, and 275 overall representation with a 28% conversion rate to the top cut. Blue Eyes is as consistent as ever, and you'll notice this winning list, at least, and some others I have seen, have cut discard traps completely in favor of the treacherous trap hole and ancient rules. Getting Blue Eyes out on the field and in your hand is proving to be way more consistent at just establishing board threats and, keeping a healthy board on the field instead of disrupting your opponent and maybe not having monsters to back yourself up. Spirit Dragon is a pretty big hassle for most decks to deal with now, especially because it can tag out into the Azure Eyes, which even then gives Blue Eyes so much late game potential that a lot of decks just have struggled. They struggle to deal with once those synchro monsters come out.
And if you notice, Blue Eyes won every tournament final it was in except one where it came in second. And the deck that beat it, we'll tell you later in the power rankings when we go over the overall list, or the tier list even. So, all right, so let's do at a glance real quick here. Overall representation, what a surprise. Blue Eyes almost like doubled.
Oh my gosh.
Not quite, but I mean,
whoa.
Yeah, just destroying everybody. But you can see the top 4 decks. That's what everybody's playing.
That is, absolutely nuts. Nothing has pretty much changed from last week, you can tell.
Yeah, TGs, just didn't do anything, did they? They introduced to the game, and now they're just
they're just an anime deck. Get them out of here. Next.
More people playing Lunalights.
Next.
Wow. All right, conversion rates. Cyber Dragons, Noble Knights. Look at all these decks. Not getting any
Cyber
points,
Dragons. They're really good. Will we talk about Cyber Dragons on Rogue decks? We'll find out tomorrow.
That's right. Top 8 finishes. Blue Eyes, of course. Thunder Dragons, Water, Automats, Stick and Chair, Dark Lords. There you go.
Yep.
Same top 5 there. And the tier list. This is why Kamel's here. He asked me to show him this before the power rankings. I'm like, no, you're gonna have to wait, just like everybody else. So here you go. Blue Eyes.
Fire Kings have finally made their way onto the DLE tier list. And I've got to say, Fire Kings have been showing up. This past weekend, they have been in many top 8s and some finals as well. So
they were 2 points away from beating or tying Dark Lords for 5th place this week. So I thought it was only fair to get them into tier 3 there, but Blue Eyes is clearly ahead of everybody. They had 41 points. The Water deck had 26. I mean, that's clearly tier 1 to tier 2 there. So, and then Water, Thunder Dragons, and Automats only had a 5-point spread. So that to me screams tier 2. And then Stick and Share Dark Lords obviously drops down at 15 points. So there's a 6-point spread between tier 2 and tier 3. So I think this is a pretty solid list and representative of what happened last week.
I think that it definitely holds up. Blue Eyes has definitely broken away from the other decks. They've modified their decks so that they can have good matchups against Water and Thunder Dragons. Straight up. That is how it is working out for them, and that's why they're tier 1.
And then real quick, most victories this past week, just Blue Eyes just destroying everybody. We'll go back to the main list here, and I'll show you the overall scores for the week. And here they are. Look at that. Fish.
Come on, guys. Come on, get in there. Get in there.
I don't even know what that deck is, but they're in there. Lunalights did get a tournament victory this week, so good for them. What'd they end up winning? The Meta Freakly Sunday. We gotta write them a letter and be like, "What's going on over there, you guys? Lunalights?
What the?
We know some people over there, don't we? We'll have to send our people to go talk to their people. Be like, "What's up? Who you letting into your tournament? Making us look bad."
Oh my gosh, we have to talk about my rogue decks again.
All right, guys. I hope you liked the video. This is one of my favorite videos of the week. I know Kamel loves it too. So make sure to get in the Discord because it's free. The tournaments are free. New player help is free. What else, Kamel? What else we got going on?
Stay tuned for Tri-Links Tactics.
There you go.
Next week.
That's right.
Sunday.
There you go. Sundays on the Twitch channel. Teams of 3 taking each other on all day. It's an all-day event every day for 5 weeks. So make sure to check that out. All right, we're going to get out of here. I'm Circus. That's Kamel.
Peace out, guys.
And we'll see you next time.
Representation has...
And it's no surprise that this...
Instead... Can we cut?